Alright guys, we got two Craftsman, they're called Craftsman Weed Whacker 32cc's. Nothing really special. They are 32cc 2004, and they got kind of a unusual tank compared to the others. I think I had a couple of Ryobis like that. This one I found buried in the shed. I don't know if I can get it to zoom in on it or not. It's real light. I can just barely make it out, but that's a 6. You can barely see it, but 99. So apparently I picked this up at the thrift store at some point for $6.99. The other one is one of them we got from that gentleman that buys from storage units. They both happen to be the same thing, same year, 2004, 32cc's. The difference is the far one that's shiny is a straight shaft, and the one here that I found in the shed is a curved shaft. It's missing the guard down here, and it's also missing the part, the cover that goes over the carburetor, so I'm sure that's probably out in the shed somewhere. So I seen that one, got to rummage around, found this one, and so I figured between the two of them we could get one running, because they're identical. And this one I actually found before we bought that one, and I did order a carb kit, because I'm sure between the two, one of them, you know, maybe with one of them will need a carb, the other one we might be able, between two of them, because they both are somewhat complete. They both have carburetors on them, and but I dig into them, see what all is there, what all is not, and so we'll go from there. So I'm going to do the straight shaft first. What I'm going to do, get this out of the way, and it's like I was saying, the only difference is one's straight shaft, one's curved shaft. And get it up here so you can see it a little better. So we got, I don't even know, I know it turns over. It's the only thing I tried turning it over, and spun good, had compression, but it definitely needs an air filter. So that I do have. It's the oddball with, like, with these kits, they're so random. It's like this one is most common for that I've came across. Hardly any weed eaters I've had this style filter. It's been mostly the old home saws, like the Pullens and Craftsmans and little Ryobi home saws. A lot of them have that style filter, so I can use it on one of them at some point. And that filter, I'm pretty sure I have a couple, so no issues there. This is going to be kind of hard to get you guys in on here. So these, see if I can get this up around here where you can see it. You have, if I can get you in there, I don't know, I'll try. So you just got a couple screws, which is, should be close. Too big. Let's try this one. There we go. 5/30 seconds, I believe. Yeah. So we got two screws. Have to come out, and that should free everything up. And we'll get this out. We'll go over the carb kit real quick before we install it. But basically, the carb kit comes with everything, so as usual. There's two screws, so our cover should come off. Well, there's an issue. No fuel lines, so possibly a good carb. So it takes care of that. It's nice and simple. Now, see if there's anything laying in the tank. No, there's not. It's actually pretty clean. So I'll set that aside. So apparently we got to put lines in it. Oh no, there is a piece of line in there. So if I had lines in there, then there's probably a fuel filter in there. Nope, just a piece of line. Get that out. Make sure there's no more on it. I do not see anything else, but it looks like there is something in one of the holes. Take a look at what we got here. Yep. So I'll have to get that out. So this is one of those deals. It's probably going to be easier for me, not for everybody, but for me, it'd probably be easier for me to do it with the tank off. That way I can clean up around it, make sure there's no, dirt and grime, get that little piece of line out of it. So hopefully it's the same size. Yeah. It's like two or three? 2 screws. So that's not bad. Hopefully it's just 2. I'm sure you guys that are pros can pop them right in it with the tank on, but for me it's going to be, oh, there is something in there going wrong. With the little connectors. So we got, you can see there, a little black speck. It's a piece of old line that just broke off. And what I do with it, I don't know if I can draw that out or have to pop it in, one or the other. I knew I shouldn't have moved those. Alright, we'll just pop it through and shake it out of the tank. Find something small enough here. So we got 2 different diameter sized holes, so hopefully that kit came with 2 different sized lines. Here we go, here's the pick. Yep, that'll do it. Poke it right in. Came out and went somewhere. Okay, so clean this tank up a little bit so we don't drag nothing in with the lines. Perfect. Okay, so it takes care of that. So let's take a look at what we got for a kit here. It should be everything you need. Well, for us, everything you need minus the air filter, because it is definitely a different style. So we do carb. What else we got? Line. Looks like the lines. The lines are the same diameter. Looks like I got some that's smaller. Came with adjustment tool. Filter. Losing everything. Filter, primer, gaskets. New plug. So that kit right there, I got on there and looked, and it was just shy of $9 for a gasket kit for the carburetor, just on Amazon. Got on the Mighty Jungle, done some digging around, and it was close to $9 just for a overhaul kit for the carb. This complete kit was, granted, it's not. I think the original one is a, let's say, Walbro or whatever it is on it. Yeah, Walbro carb. Most common on a lot of that, and that's Zima or Zama or whatever it is, but one of China's finest. So I've had good luck with them so far. But to each their own. And for me, it's just easier just to buy a whole, complete kit like this. Just buy it, slam it, and go. And but like I say, to each their own. Some people prefer just to overhaul the one, but then you're stuck with oh, well, there we go. You got to dip it, get the chemicals, get it a good scrub down, blah blah blah. So that's why I just buy a new one. I have ran into the past with issues of the gaskets, like the one I just took off here, being different You see how like this one's shaped, and let's see what we got here with these two. So kind of the same scenario. You see the holes, it sits like this. These two right here, actually there's prongs up in there. If I can get you zoomed in on it, and those holes are, oops, just dropped it. There's one here, and there's another one up there. So these holes are actually to hold the gasket in place, like so. And this one does not. Yeah, it does. It has it. I'm sorry. So the difference is how this one is square. Now, the other difference is I don't think that one will work because of the way it's shaped. Now, it's not long enough. As you can see, it'll hit the top prong, won't hit the bottom. And there's also chambers in here that gasket covers, which, yeah, you should be able to see them. So this gasket, the OEM one, you can see how it's shaped. You can see the indentions on it, where it sets and covers those chambers up. This one where it's egg shaped, I'll get it up on that top prong again for you so you can see what I'm talking about. Yeah, there it is. Falls short, it's not long enough, it's not wide enough, so that's kind of the issues you come into sometimes. You end up with the right carb, you know, and a tune-up kit with it, but that's the downside, is sometimes you end up with gaskets that are totally wrong. But it happens. Don't happen often, but it happens. Yeah, get that thing out of your guys' way there. But only had it happen a few times. Not much. It's usually on it. Now, the best luck I've had when it comes to these situations is that's why I prefer to go through HIPAA. I think that's how you say it, 'cause everything, I've only had an issue with them once, and the only issue I had with them was the air filter. Everything else was spot on. Carburetor was bolted on, no adjustments, no nothing, man. It took straight off, you know, but the only difference was that air filter. But this one, the gasket's still good and soft. It's not cracked, so we should be fine reusing it. So I'll put it back on. Let's go ahead and reuse it, since the one we have is obviously different, because I do not think I have one. I'm almost positive I don't have one like that. Yeah, I can about guarantee that. But I don't know. I'm gonna go waste our time digging for it. No, they're square, but they're different for a different kit. So I'm just going to go ahead and reuse the OEM style. And carb. Yeah, so we should be good. So everything looks the same. You can hold them up, see where your holes are at, make sure everything's facing the same way. Your throttle adjustment, make sure your high and lows, all of them facing the same way. Make sure your where your throttle cable hooks up, all that stuff, make sure it's all the same. Got your holes top and bottom. You know, man, that thing's been sitting a while. But so it's spot on. Doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. No, of course not. But we're going to try it. So we get all this stuff organized. We'll get fuel lines for the tank, which this one is. These are both, as you can see there, they're both the same diameter, and our tank requires one that's large and one that's small. So we'll hunt down some fuel line, and we'll get the fuel lines in the tank. Alright, so I got the lines in, new filter in, which the new filter I didn't like too much. Seems like it's too big for this style tank. It keeps it up off the bottom of the tank right here. It's up a little bit, so it's, I don't know, it just seems like it'd be a smaller filter to me anyway. But anyhow, got the tanks in, done them the usual way we do them. You just cut them, here it is, cut them at an angle, feed them up through the tank, grab a hold of them and just pull up through the hole. It does help to put either a little grease on there or 2-cycle mix. It helps it slide up through the plastic. Now this one I did kind of forget about the routing of the lines on this one, so if it doesn't run I'll probably have to swap the lines around, but I'm pretty sure I got it right. This one didn't have lines and the other one doesn't either, and I'm usually pretty good about remembering that, but it's been a while since I had these, because these ones they can look confusing because the carburetor is kind of what you consider upside down. So I'm pretty sure I have it right though. So it sets, instead of like your carb on the majority of them, this is your top, they set like this. This one's case, they set the opposite direction. So with this one, I believe the main line actually goes to the top because it's feeding down, and then your primer will hook up to the bottom one. And so hopefully I'm right. I'm pretty sure. So with the fun part, well, for me, is this is where it comes into hooking up your primer. I got the new one installed. They just clip right into place. Now your short one, if I can get it in there, you can see where you have, I'll get up where you can see it. You have short tube, long tube. One pulls, one pushes. Now, if you're not sure which one's which, just push in on your primer, stick your finger over it. You can see how the primer is staying collapsed. So that's pulling. And then you push out on the big one, you let go, you can hear the air come out. So now we know the short one is the one that draws fuel. It'll draw the fuel through the carburetor and then shove it through the long one back up into the tank. So it's just cycle still. So now we know which one's which, and the carb's just kind of like I have it in place, just holding it in place with the screws, just so I can kind of judge the length of line that I need. And so, which sucks. I mean, if it had a primer that was built onto the carb, it'd be easy, just cut it, hook it up and done. But this one you have to run it to the primer and then to the carb, so I need to kind of guesstimate what I need here. I always cut them a little bit longer than what I need, and then I can just trim off the excess later. So alright, got that figured out. It was just fuel line binding up, throwing me off. So as I say, try not to get aggravated. So we're going to throw the new plug in it. At least see what this one looks like. But it was fuel line was just a touch too long and was trying to drop down in behind the carb, going in between the carb and the engine itself. So I just trimmed it off just a little bit, no big deal. My God, this thing looks like it's been used, abused, and hung out to dry. Good Lord, man. Definitely new plug time. See if we can get a look at the cylinder. Oh yeah, this thing's had some. She's had some run hours put on her. The top of that piston looks just like that spark plug. You know, the one thing I didn't do doing all this, because I usually, if you guys have watched any of my other videos, I usually I have a little syringe we have. It's an old one from giving medicine to my daughter's rabbit, and I saved it for working on these to put fuel in, and just give the carburetor a little shot and then hit it, see if it barks off. And I actually did not do that with this one, so let's hope for the best. So that's it, new plug. And there we go. So we got, just put the new plug in, new primer, new lines, new carb, and I did find what I just do with it. There it is. This filter hopefully will fit. If not, I have another one. This might be too thick. Yeah, I think it is. Man, that thing's falling apart in your fingers. This one might be too thick. It's going to be close. Just how you got your tabs in there, it just stretches over the tabs. Let's see. Of course, the does not work. I have a different one. It's a little bit thinner, but alright, there's that. So we'll make sure our throttle's moving like it should. Yep, throttle's moving like it should. Choke lever is working like it should. So technically, if it's firing, we should be able to throw gas in this, which it takes 40 to 1 according to the cap, and it should bark off. Now, the problem I got with this is I did not test it for fire, so it's going to be a hit or miss. So we'll see. But if it does run, I will take and clean it up a little bit. You can see the guard, how dirty, grungy everything is. Now this one, you can see here how it has the blade for when you spool your line out. This is the blade that trims it off. This style head does not require that. This is one of those deals where you just pop it. That one's stiff, it needs cleaned out. But you just pop them, it should release. You pull on them, it pops loose, and see if I can get it to pop up. This one just is full of crap. There it goes. You just pop them loose, and you can see, get it over here where you can see. Right there. You feed it so like one solid line. Actually, I think I have some here somewhere, but you just stick it straight through, goes underneath the cap, and you got a side here it comes out, and the side here it comes out. You get it in, pop it down, lock it in place, and you're good to go. But I'll try to get it cleaned up some anyway, just for GP. But that's it. The only thing left is to cease your fire up. Alright, we got 4 inches of snow, maybe 5. Kind of depends where you're at. Came in last night. It's currently 25 degrees. I'm out here with no coat. So this thing's going to start. I better make it quick. Good enough. Alright, see if our primer's working. Make sure I got you guys where you can see and all that. And hopefully this thing's recording. That would suck. But here we go. See if we're getting anything in the primer. Oh man, that's a cool breeze. Alright. Choke off, choke on. I don't see no fuel leaking yet. But we're just getting started. We're on. Alright, let's hope for the best. Oh, that's not good. Oh, hey, we got fire. Try half a choke. She's definitely a runner. So, whew, man, it's cold. Looks like, I think, there it is. Yeah, the side on kind of high because the cables where the throttle position is on the carburetor. Here's exactly what it's my own fault. See if I can get it in here where you guys can see it. It's exactly my own fault for being in a hurry. I'll try to get it in on the camera. I don't know if I can because I can't really see much. I got the sun behind me shining on everything. But hopefully you can see. If you can see down in there at the carburetor, there is, I got to point at it, right below the tank, right here where the screw is for the tank to hold it in place. Just below it is a plastic tab. that plastic tab, the throttle cable for the throttle cable going up into the handle, it's supposed to be on top of that cap. So that's the problem I got, is it's underneath it, so it's holding the throttle partially open. So all I gotta do is just bring that over and it'll be good to go. But little here, as I say, take your time, man. Be in a hurry. So I'm always in a hurry because we're trying to do these videos, and I'm bad enough at dragging them out as it is. But it's a win. This one runs. The other one, I don't know if I'll do a video on it or not, because it's identical to this one. So I mean, the worst it's going to need is a carburetor kit, and you can it's the same identical setup as this. So there's pretty much, you know, no sense in making a video of the other one. The only difference is one's straight shaft, one's curved shaft. Other than that, they are identical. So thanks for watching. It's a win. I'll take it. Alright, you guys, I'll show you the group of them at some point that I have, because I got to get rid of them because a lot of the kids are I don't think they're going to be really much into it this year, so I have to figure out what to do with these. Probably just donate them or something. I don't know what to do with them. I'm starting to get a pile of them. But thanks for watching, and we'll catch you at the next one.